Hello and welcome to grammar class. Today's lesson is adjuncts in English grammar. You see, the word adjunct means an additional but inessential or dispensable or extra part of something. In English grammar, an adjunct is a word or a group of words that add some extra information about a noun or a verb or an adjective in a sentence. In short, an adjunct is a word or a phrase or a clause providing some extra or dispensable information in a sentence. Which means even if you remove an adjunct from the sentence, its basic structure is not affected. We also understand that an adjunct functions as an adjective when it qualifies a noun, and it acts as an adverb when it modifies an adjective or a verb in the sentence. Now we are going to look at how adjuncts are used in sentences. If an adjunct modifies or qualifies the subject of a sentence, it's known as adjunct to the subject. And as you know, the subject of a sentence is a noun or a noun equivalent. That's why an adjunct to the subject does the work of an adjective by providing some extra information about it and gets the name of adjectival adjunct. So remember these 4 key points about the adjunct to the subject. It acts as an adjective. An adjectival adjunct may be a word or a phrase or a clause. It modifies the subject of the sentence. And an adjunct to the subject may come before or after the subject. And this whole grammatical exercise of using adjuncts to the subject is also known as the enlargement of the subject. Now see some examples of the adjunct to the subject on your screen. Some children were playing in the garden. Here the noun children is the subject of the sentence, and the adjective some is describing or modifying the subject. Hence, it is an adjunct to the subject or an adjectival adjunct. In the next example, his mother is a teacher. The possessive determiner, his, is modifying the subject noun mother. So in this sentence, his is an adjunct to the subject. The birds in the tree are singing. In this sentence, the noun birds is the subject word. The article the and the prepositional phrase in the tree are both modifying it. In this way, they are both adjuncts to the subject in this sentence. And the whole expression, the birds in the tree, is called the enlargement of the subject. Thus, we see that an adjunct to the subject may come either before the subject word or after it. Barking dogs seldom bite. In this example, the present participle barking is modifying the subject noun dogs. So, barking is an adjunct to the subject in this case. We have already seen how a word as well as a phrase can be used as an adjunct to the subject. Now look at the last example here. People who work hard achieve success. In this sentence, the subordinate clause who work hard is modifying the subject of the sentence people. So the entire adjective clause who work hard is an adjunct to the subject here. Thus we learnt about different types of adjuncts to the subject. Up next is the adverbial adjunct. You see, an adverbial adjunct does the work of an adverb by modifying a verb or an adjective in the predicate. So just remember these 4 key features of an adverbial adjunct. Well, as the name suggests, it acts as an adverb. An adverbial adjunct may be either a word or a phrase or a clause. In other words, an adverbial adjunct is either an adverb or an adverb phrase or an adverb clause. An adverbial adjunct qualifies a verb or an adjective in the predicate of the sentence. And lastly, an adverbial adjunct may come before or after the word it qualifies. The grammatical use of an adverbial adjunct is also known as the adverbial qualification. Now here are some examples of adverbial adjuncts on your screen. A cultural program was held yesterday. Here the adverb of time yesterday modifies the passive verb was held. So it's an adverbial adjunct of the verb was held. Even if you remove this adjunct from the sentence, the remaining structure of the sentence is not affected, because an adjunct provides some extra information about the word it qualifies. Stars were twinkling in the sky. In this sentence, the prepositional phrase in the sky modifies the verb twinkling. The phrase in the sky is acting as an adverb here. Hence, it's an adverbial adjunct to the verb twinkling. He went back disappointed. In this sentence, the past participle disappointed is the adverbial adjunct to the verb went back. Even a clause can act as an adverbial adjunct. For example, in the sentence, I woke up after the sun had risen, the subordinate clause after the sun had risen is indicating the time of my waking up. Hence, here the entire clause after the sun had risen is an adverbial adjunct to the verb woke up. An adverbial adjunct may also come before an adjective in the predicate to qualify it. For example, in the sentence, we are too late, the adverb to is modifying the adjective late. So the adverb to is an adverbial adjunct to the adjective late. Though an adverbial adjunct is an extension to the predicate, it may come at the end or in the middle or even at the beginning of a sentence. For example, in the sentence, in winter, people wear woolens, the adverbial adjunct in winter comes at the beginning. See, the phrase in winter qualifies the verb wear, yet it comes at the beginning of the sentence. In the sentence, the train has already arrived, already is an adverbial adjunct to the verb arrived. In this case, the adjunct has come in the middle of the sentence before the verb it modifies. The last example, he was standing under a tree. The prepositional phrase under a tree is modifying the verb standing. It acts as an adverb of place here. So it's an adverbial adjunct occurring at the end of the sentence. Multiple adjuncts, both adjectival and adverbial, may occur at the same time in a sentence. These adjuncts provide additional information about the subject and the predicate in the sentence. But as I said earlier, the removal of these adjuncts from the sentence does not affect its remaining structure. Yesterday I saw a nightingale in the garden. There are two adjuncts in this sentence. Both yesterday and the phrase in the garden are adverbial adjuncts, occurring at the beginning and at the end of the sentence respectively. Why? Because they both modify the verb saw. Yesterday denotes the time and in the garden indicates the place. In the next example, dark clouds were seen in the sky. Dark is an adjectival adjunct to the subject noun clouds. But the phrase in the sky is an adverbial adjunct modifying the verb seen. In the next example, I met him at the marketplace on Sunday. There are two adverbial adjuncts. The prepositional phrases at the marketplace and on Sunday modifying the verb met. But even if you remove these adjuncts from the sentence, the remaining structure I met him remains meaningful or unaffected. The last example has 4 adjuncts. Some boys of our school made a mischief in the laboratory yesterday. The determiner some and the prepositional phrase of our school qualify the noun boys. Hence, they are adjectival adjuncts to the subject. However, the phrase in the laboratory and the word yesterday are adverbial adjuncts because they qualify the predicate made a mischief. In the laboratory is an adjunct of place and yesterday is an adjunct of time. It is extremely important to distinguish between an adjunct and an object or a complement. First and foremost, an object or a complement is an essential element of a grammatical sentence. They are necessary for the completion of meaning. However, an adjunct provides some additional or inessential information in the sentence. An object or a complement cannot be removed from the sentence, but an adjunct can be removed without affecting the remaining structure of the sentence. In the sentence, I played tennis, tennis is the object of the verb play. However, in the next sentence, I played tennis in the evening, the phrase in the evening is an adverbial adjunct. An object is a noun, but an adjunct does the work of an adverb or an adjective. In the sentence, John is a singer, singer is the complement of the verb is. It's a subjective complement because it completes the sense of the subject John. But when you say John is a famous singer, the word famous is an adjunct because it modifies the noun singer. And then in the sentence, I made the kid happy, the adjective happy is the objective complement of the verb's object kid. But if you say I made the kid happy easily, the adverb easily is an adverbial adjunct because it qualifies the verb made. And if you remove this adjunct from the sentence, the remaining structure of the sentence is not affected. So that's the end of today's class. Hopefully you liked the video. Please be sure to like, comment, share and subscribe to our channel. And do not forget to click the notification bell for more grammar content. Thanks for watching.